Have you ever wondered why your baby isn't sitting as long as you expected, or why they topple over when they reach for a toy? The truth is, it's not about time on the floor, and there's simple daily activities you can do to build your baby's core strength and balance that will have them sitting independently safely. And in this video, I'll show you 5 OT approved exercises you can do every day without fancy equipment that truly makes a difference. And wait until tip number 3 because it's one of the most mistakes that I see parents doing to slow their baby's progress. Welcome to the Kind Mama Club. Here you'll find strategies and activities for your little one, hit those developmental milestones, as well as sharing my experiences as a first-time mom. I'm Gumi, a pediatric occupational therapist with a passion of making the world a more kind, inclusive, and supportive place. Here on this channel, you'll find OT strategies, mama hacks, and encouragement so you can feel confident, supported, and never alone. If this sounds like the club for you, please subscribe. And today I want to be talking about how to help your baby sit independently. So activity number 1 is supported sitting on the floor. You can sit your baby between your legs, and in the beginning, you'll probably have to give maximal support as their core strengthens over time. And the goal is minimal support and letting them experience balance adjustments on their own, but that's for later. In the beginning, if you have something, I use like our play gym, and there's like things hanging on it. In the beginning, my baby was just desperately holding on to something and to keep herself upright. She was like, if I let go, I'm gonna fall, so I'm just gonna keep holding on to this toy. And then that toy is helping them stabilize their core, and using external support is okay in the beginning. And once they're able to do this, encourage them to reach for a toy placed slightly to the side, and this teaches weight shifting, trunk rotation, and core engagement. And remember to keep the session short or read your baby's cues. If they're like, yeah, I can keep doing this, keep going. If they're like, oh, I hate this. And if they're like, I'm hungry, I don't feel like doing this right now, don't do it. Read your baby's cues. And in short, frequent sessions is always better than long sessions where your baby gets tired or frustrated. Activity number 2 is side-to-side reaches. So they're excellent for trunk control. So place a toy just slightly out of reach to the left or right and let your baby reach. And once they can do this, see if you hold under their armpits right here, they're able to engage in a toy. The lower your hands go, the more they gotta use their trunk. So if you see them wobble, I say the work is in the wobble. If they're like all the way over here, that's a little too much for them. So kind of see like a little wobble is really good, pretty good. Sometimes you can see how much wobbly they are, but if they're like all the way over here, move your hands just a little higher so they're kind of wobbling a little less. Or I'll even just put them on my lap and then I'll be singing and I'll be like, whoa! And then see, leave them there, don't do anything. See if they can move their trunk back to midline in the middle. So I'm like bouncing and playing with it and I'm like, whoa! And then see if they can bring the mess up, because that is working on their core and that's needed for sitting and working on their balance. I love that one just because it's fun and engaging and they're not really knowing that they're working, so it's a fun, great activity that I love to do. And then the third activity you can do with them is kind of like weight shifts. Boop, and the toppling over. Once your baby can sit with contact guard assist, which is kind of like you're kind of there, you're kind of just there just in case. Once they can sit for like a good 3 to 5 seconds, if your baby falls over, I say let them experience the fall, because you're there. You're just kind of catching them, but slowly letting them feel the topple over. Like if I move my body this way, I'm going to go all the way down, because if as parents we're always catching them here, they're like, oh, somebody's always got me. And then sometimes I see babies like throw themselves all the way back because they think someone's always there, but in reality someone is not always there. So I say when you're doing this activity, just have your hands there just in case, but if they move, bloop, and just slowly, safely move them whichever way they kind of fell. And that's great for learning like cause and effect, and learning like if I move my body like this, I'm going to go this way. You won't be able to catch every fall, But if you provide a safe space for them to explore, they'll learn how to move their body safely. My baby has toppled over many times, but it's all part of the learning experience. And activity number 4 is utilizing mirrors. Babies love mirrors, and I would place my baby here. So I would place my baby in front of the mirror, and the mirror encouraged them upright head and trunk control. Sitting in front of a mirror encourages upright head and trunk control and adds like a social element as your babies watch themselves more. It's also great visual feedback. In the beginning, my baby was just kind of like, and she'll kind of like eat the mirror, help have the mirror, and kind of basically lean against the mirror, which is okay in the beginning, because in the beginning I just want to encourage an upright position, so that's okay. And then sometimes I'll have her reach for like a toy on those suction toys, and just kind of play with those toys. Every time she's reaching, she is using her core to stabilize herself, so she's not just like toppling over everywhere. And it's great visual feedback for her, so I love using mirrors for a lot of my play activities. And try this for a few minutes at a time, multiple times a day, and you'll see a noticeable improvements in balance. And activity number 5 is reaching. So once your baby can sit independently for a while, it's time to level up and upgrade their balance and trunk control. So this is when reaching comes into play. And when babies are reaching, they're working on their big core, because now we're adding dynamic movement and reaching something and coming back to midline. So they're working on their core strength and control, as well as like their hand-eye coordination to reach for an object. And once they can do a reach and grasp, see if they can transfer toys from one hand to another like this. And this is essential for crawling and feeding skills later on. Just remember, there's no rush, and there's like a range of when babies hit their milestones. So just let your baby explore movement naturally. Just some tips is avoiding prolonged use of containers. If your baby's not really a toy kind of baby, I would say use like everyday, like a cup, like a baby safe cup, or a hat, or one of their bows. I would say anything can be a toy. Anything can be a quote-unquote toy for them that they find interest and they want to reach for. And remember to track the small wins. If a baby was doing right on the armpits and you could even get like an inch down, that is progress. So remember to track those small wins. And if you combine all these exercises, your baby will be sitting and also kind of ready for crawling, pulling themselves to stand, and walking later. And this is honed into us as OTs, like you need core stability for distal mobility. So that kind of just means their core needs to be strong for them to even use their arms and hands to work on those like fine motor movements. You gotta always work on the core. And remember, every baby develops on their own pace. Some babies sit independently earlier and some later, but consistent practice makes a huge difference. If you found these exercises helpful, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And check out my free 0 to 12 month milestone guide if you haven't already, which gives you the developmental milestones and the red flags to kind of watch out for in each developmental stage. And let me know where you are in your babysitting journey, and if you have any comments or questions. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.